Day 14, rolling out of Lake Cass, and a record 7:30 AM start. That's actually the old 8:30 AM because the clocks went back, and had a lovely little stay in this chap's little sort of cardboard box type bungalow. No, cardboard box would be to downplay it actually. More like a static caravan. But allow me to get a good sleep in and get organised. And today, looking good. Well, I decided this morning I was just going to get on the main road to Castrès and blitz the kilometres early on a Sunday, so hopefully most of the Frenchies are still in bed. 21 to Castrès. Morning scenes in the south of France. Very nice indeed. Pleasant little spot. Just entering a Parc Naturel Régional just now. Part of the reason for this choice of route. That and the road went in the direction that I wanted to go in. And so hopefully the relative monotony of the last 2 days in the flat open valley will be behind me, and there'll be a bit more shelter from the trees out the wind, and a bit more beauty naturelle on the way. Nice little spot in Brassac here, with a nice shady bench tucking some bakery treats. Le pain. Lovely to dip out the wind here on the way to Lacaune. Sort of being slightly across me, slightly in my face today, but it's just knackering being in the wind, in your ears, blowing you about, and for some reason I feel impatient to make up the miles today. I just want to get on and get the kilometres done, but sort of caught between trying to stay in nice cruisy terrain like this, which is slower, versus the bigger, faster, more direct routes. Constant conundrum. Another cull, love to see it. 885, decent climb today. Just rolling out of Lacaune, where I stopped for a cooling Coca-Cola, and I think I've made a bit of a boo-boo because it's Sunday today and nothing, including the casino supermarché, is open. And did consider the pizzeria in Brassac about 25k back. Thought no, find something. But it's looking like lean times until Lodève in about 70k time. Have to get by on the boulangerie items until then. Another cull. Cheers. Bit of evening mileage. 5 o'clock. About an hour left of the usual light. And I'm just picking up the KMs. Today's going to be a record day, I think. Well, there's a big descent coming up. And the question, as ever, is to push on or to not push on. Day 15, 7:35 AM, rolling out. Very efficient pack up. Had a lovely little spot last night and was only discovered very briefly this morning by a man in a Renault Clio who said bonjour. I've got about 40k to Lodève to resupply. Climbing again. Another day. Another cull. Visibility poor. Well, I've just rolled out of Lodève, where I stopped for a café au lait and restocked at the Aldi there after a really nice morning over a couple of culls, 30k or so. And I've just deviated briefly to Soubise to top up the water bottles because I forgot to do that in town. Now I've got about 50k up and over another pass, about 500 metre climb to Ganges, or Gange. And I've set my sights actually on perhaps going to Alès today, which is about 100k. Given my form yesterday, I thought maybe I've got it in me. Curvy, twisty, sheltered, spectacular scenery. It's got it all, folks. Quality. The type of road that would be absolutely miserable with a headwind. But with a tailwind, dreamy. Yee-hoo-hoo! Lapping up the KMs. First bit of rain in over 2 weeks, and the mudguards finally starting to warrant their passage. I'm just rolling out of Gange, and the descent down from the plateau is absolutely magnificent and extremely good value for the 500 metres of elevation drop. What wasn't such good value was a chocolat show that I purchased from a sort of boulangerie chain just now, just to get under cover, get out of the rain for a little bit. €2.40 for like literally half a cup of chocolate water. If I had a bit more French, I would have taken it back and said no. But I didn't. I drank it and left in a huff. So my plan now, I think, is to head on to Alès, or Alès. It's about 50k, and line up some accommodation for the night, just to get things squared away before the push to Briançon is the plan. Making superb progress. Rolling in. Hotel L'Escale d'Alès. C'est parfait, non? Day 16, Alès, in the middle of France somewhere, and I've just ventured into town for a little exploration and a couple of baked treats. It wasn't necessarily intended as a bad weather overnight stop at the hotel, but as it happened there was thunder and lightning and torrential rain last night, so I feel like I timed that quite well. Morning scenes from L'Escale d'Alès, and just gathering myself and my items, bring a bit of coffee before I get on the road. Alès just disappearing behind me in the distance there, and part of the reason for stopping there actually was because it's the last city or town on my northern Spain map, so I've now left it. However, it's a public holiday in France today, so I couldn't get a new map. I was really happy with yesterday's progress, about 135k and 1400 metres of elevation gain, and it's really only the last day or two that I've started to feel fit and strong on the bike. It's taken a couple of weeks to really get into it, but now I'm feeling like I can really lay down the miles, so the daily average should be ticking up. Crazy. Taken about half an hour or more today, mucking about trying to find a tap so I can get the drivetrain clean, because it went completely dry and squeaky, and I finally did in this lovely little place here where there's a toilette. There it is. It's been a lovely day of just pottering along really, and I'm soon to descend into the main river valley where Avignon is, that ends up in the Med, and then climbing again back up towards, well, the Alps in a couple of days' time. Very exciting! Turns out this river is the Rhône. I had no idea. Big one, no? Well, it's that time of day again where I'm scoping a spot for the tent, and okay, not there then. And my strategy tonight, oh look at that over there, is to try and find somewhere where I can't be seen, but then head into town for a bière once the tent's pitched. Potentially risky, but I feel like the reward could be worth it. Well, I found my spot. I mean, can you even see the tent there? It's almost invisible. Well, I pushed on to the next village thinking there might be a bit of a scene, but it's completely dead. So I'm going to have a bit of a scran here, and then 7-kilometre time trial back to Orange for a bière. So 14-kilometre round trip for a beer. Bonus mileage.